Make all kinds of horrible theories up in my head, conspiracy theories and everything else, but it just seemed a little convenient that there was no water, and and that the wind conditions were right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires. And are they commissioned to do so, or are they just acting on their own volition? I don't know, but they seem pretty well equipped, some of these people that they're catching.
A lot of questions. A lot of questions, Mel. Mel, a message tonight.
You know, I'll sift through the remains of my place and see if I can find any clues for you.
I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish.
You know, people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't.
Mel Gibson has just fired off another scorching attack on Gavin Newsom. And this one hits harder than anything we've seen in their ongoing, explosive feud. These two have been locked in a public war of words ever since last year's devastating California wildfires. And judging by the heat Gibson is bringing, there's no truce anywhere on the horizon. After watching his Pacific Palisades mansion burn to ash, Gibson has been urging Californians to kick Newsom out of office and replace him with someone who knows what real leadership looks like. His latest comments have blown up across social media, triggering some of the most unhinged reactions and emotional meltdowns we've seen from Newsom yet. And yes, every fiery clip, every meltdown, every moment of chaos is right here. Buckle up, because things are about to ignite fast.
Now, any message from you to Governor Newsom or Karen Bass tonight?
Spend less on hair gel.
Short, sharp, and brutally savage, Mel Gibson isn't holding back on California's image-obsessed governor, who seems more committed to his perfectly gelled hair than to the people he was elected to serve. Newsom's fixation on his glossy, slicked-back mane is so intense it's nearly impossible to find a single photo where he isn't striking a Hollywood billboard pose. Meanwhile, California is collapsing under skyrocketing taxes, endless red tape, street chaos, homelessness at historic highs, and cities drowning in frustration. Yet Newsom, completely unbothered, he's too busy admiring his reflection while the state suffers around him.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors.
Mel Gibson and Greg Gutfeld didn't pull a single punch. They tore straight into Gavin Newsom for driving California deeper into disaster with his reckless, performative woke policies. They accused him not just of tolerating homelessness, but practically nurturing it like some twisted political pet project. Instead of cleaning up encampments or investing in real recovery solutions, Newsom doubled down and allowed even more tents to sprout in the heart of neighborhoods, creating scenes that look like apocalypse footage. Trash, needles, and despair now line streets that once sparkled with opportunity. Under Newsom's rule, California's shine has turned to soot, and even Trump couldn't resist firing shots at his failed leadership just weeks ago.
I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish.
You know, people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't.
How on earth is President Trump's criticism considered political? It wasn't a partisan jab. It was blunt, undeniable reality. Gavin Newsom is on record for approving the destruction of a dam that could have helped contain or even prevented the catastrophic Palisades fire. And for what? To protect a single endangered fish and score symbolic brownie points with a few local groups? That isn't leadership. It's recklessness dressed up as environmental hero cosplay. That dam would have provided vital water reserves for firefighters, potentially saving homes, wildlife, and lives. Instead, Newsom chose photo ops over protection, optics over action, and Californians are paying the devastating price.
Make all kinds of horrible theories up in my head, conspiracy theories and everything else, but it just seemed a little convenient that there was no water, and and that the wind conditions were right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires. And are they commissioned to do so, or are they just acting on their own volition? I don't know, but they seem pretty well equipped, some of these people that they're catching.
A lot of questions. A lot of questions, Mel. Mel, a message tonight.
Yeah, you know, I'll sift through the remains of my place and see if I can find any clues for you.
This is where everything explodes into pure chaos. Investigations have now revealed that several Pacific Palisades fires may have been ignited by local teens and transient campers. But what police found during the arrests shocked everyone. Among the seized items were fire accelerants, protective gear, and crude ignition devices. Things no ordinary camper or bored teenager would ever have. The evidence painted a chilling, calculated picture, almost as if someone trained, instructed, or even paid them to start the blaze. That's when Mel Gibson's suspicions went into overdrive. He refuses to give Newsom the benefit of the doubt, believing this could be yet another staged political crisis designed to control the narrative, manipulate public fear, and secure federal funding. To Gibson, this is a repeated pattern, disaster conveniently turning into a tool for power.
Welcome to a new segment called Gavin's Hands. He keeps his hands in motion and his hair full of lotion. True, Gavin's views may be idiotic, but his hands moves, well, they're hypnotic. California Governor Newsom's new podcast is out. It's available wherever fine hair care products are sold.
The saddest, most absurd twist in this entire saga is Gavin Newsom's latest vanity project, launching his very own podcast. And it's just as pretentious as it sounds. He claims it's a platform for deep conversations with people who disagree with him or those he supposedly admires. But let's be real. This isn't about dialogue. This is a polished PR stunt engineered to soften his image, test public reactions, and quietly lay the foundation for a future presidential run. The guests will be safe. The questions will be scripted. The entire thing is designed to protect his narrative. This isn't conversation. It's coronation. Every carefully lit frame screams ambition, not authenticity. And Mel Gibson sees straight through the theatrics.
Ponders why Dems lost.
We lost the popular vote and we lost the electoral vote. We got crushed. And we need to be humble about that, and we need to have some grace, and we need to understand why. Was it because of the incumbency penalty? Was it because of inflation? Was it because of interest rates? Was it because of immigration? Was it because we were too, quote unquote,
Kennedy, I think the answer is yes. Was
it because of Israel? Yes. Interest rates? Yes. Too woke?
Once again, Gavin Newsom has flown into a dramatic meltdown over the 2024 elections, and it's more revealing than he realizes. Democrats spent years convincing themselves Donald Trump was politically finished, a villain beyond redemption. While they were busy mocking him on TV and throwing cheap insults, Trump was quietly recalibrating, sharpening his message, and turning every Biden-era disaster into momentum. They underestimated him, and when the votes rolled in, Trump stunned them all. Newsom's latest outburst isn't just anger, it's fear. Their carefully crafted narrative is collapsing, and Trump's resurgence has sent shockwaves through their entire political machine.
To the issues of audits, I mean, I was commenting when I was with President Trump. We talked about the high-speed rail, and there was some discussion before the public presentation on high-speed rail last week around audits. I think we've been audited 100 times there. Happy to see another audit. At a certain point, you have audit fatigue. I think at the end of the day, people want outcomes and they want results for their money spent. Audits for audit's sake service no one, just services headlines. What people want is problems solved, and they want to see it. They want to believe it. They don't want to hear it, and they don't want to hear excuses and rhetoric.
This was the moment President Trump finally snapped and launched a full audit into California's high-speed rail project. And honestly, it was overdue by a decade. For years, this so-called revolutionary project has burned through hundreds of millions in taxpayer dollars, with nothing to show except a few lonely tracks and endless excuses from Sacramento. Costs keep exploding, timelines keep changing, and accountability is nowhere to be found. When Trump announced the audit, Newsom immediately bragged about the project being audited 100 times. But let's be honest, those were political performances with pre-written conclusions. This time, Newsom panicked because a real audit threatened to expose incompetence, financial mismanagement, and potential corruption buried inside California's biggest infrastructure embarrassment. The walls were closing in, and he knew it.
In 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on fire.
Well, the whole state is just so poorly managed.
Joe Rogan, once a proud California resident, barreled into the debate and didn't hold back for a second. He openly mourned how the Golden State, once a beacon of innovation, creativity, and opportunity, has spiraled into chaos under Gavin Newsom's leadership. Rogan said California had become practically unlivable, crushed by sky-high costs, smothering regulations, and a suffocating culture of censorship and outrage. The dream died. Creativity withered. Freedom vanished. Rogan didn't move to escape taxes. He moved to escape decay. And thousands of Californians have now done the same, voting with their feet and fleeing a state that no longer resembles the paradise it once was.
Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear they're unable to respond effectively and responsibly during calamity. Whether it's sheer incompetence or outright malevolence, the reality is stark. California's in a state of turmoil, and I ask my fellow Angelenos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office?
Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass have officially worn out their welcome, and it's painfully obvious they have nothing left to offer the people of California. Under their watch, the state has plunged deeper into crisis, homelessness exploding, crime rising, inflation crushing families, businesses shutting down, and entire neighborhoods resembling disaster zones. Their progressive policies may generate flashy headlines, but they've delivered nothing but frustration. Mel Gibson, a lifelong Californian, has reached his breaking point, and he's far from alone. A growing wave of furious residents are demanding real accountability and leadership, not staged photo ops and empty promises. Californians aren't just tired, they're fed up. And this time, they're ready for a full-blown political shift.
I understand you offered Gavin Newsom help in handling his unrest. I understand that didn't go over too well.
Yeah, they accused us of trying to, quote, escalate. But I can tell you what escalates the situation is being a sanctuary state. What escalates the situation is tolerating the looting and the rioting and the burning of these vehicles and attacks on law enforcement. And we do it just the opposite in Florida. When the 2020 riots were happening in Minneapolis, California, all these other places, we didn't let that happen in Florida. But we also recognize, this is what the left does. So we did landmark anti-rioting legislation.
This is what real leadership looks like. Governor Ron DeSantis has laid out a bold, unapologetic blueprint that Gavin Newsom could desperately learn from. DeSantis enforced strong anti-riot laws, backed law enforcement, and acted decisively when chaos threatened public safety. Florida remained steady because its leadership had clarity and conviction. Meanwhile, California crumbled under weak policies, soft on crime agendas, and leaders more concerned with optics than action. The contrast is undeniable. Florida stood firm while California spiraled. DeSantis's model isn't about politics, it's about results. If Newsom truly cared, he'd ditch the theatrics and follow proven strategies that restore order and rebuild trust. And that wraps up today's story. Hit like and subscribe for more explosive updates, because this saga is only getting hotter.